Welcome to the Consulting Leaders Podcast, where we talk about the business of consulting. Whether you're looking to grow your practice or learn from the stories of leaders in consulting, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Guillaume Jouvencel, ex-PwC and co-founder of GHA Marketing. Join me as I interview the best consultants in their niche. Let's get on with the show. Coach Mo, welcome to Consulting Leaders. Let's
Thank
just jump straight into it.
Sure.
What got you into coaching and consulting, Coach Mo?
I saw too many people struggle up the career ladder, and in particular, professional women weren't advancing their careers the way that I sort of naturally was inclined to do. And I had a personal setback of breast cancer, and that started me on a deeper inward journey of not only wanting to live with a little bit higher level of a purpose, but also really wanting to help others more than just be a great leader. I wanted to have more of a significant impact on individuals, and I decided to focus on helping professional women advance their careers, and that's worked out pretty great for the last 10 years. I've taken all that I knew as an executive and started pouring it into them.
It's so funny because you were a healthcare COO and CEO.
Mhm.
So one could say that you had a successful career.
Yes.
What made you see the gap in, hey, women are not advancing in their career the way they should, or the way I believe they should?
All along the way, I took risks that other women didn't. And
Interesting.
oftentimes when I was ready to tap a woman on the shoulder on my team and say, "I want you to take this role." "Oh, no, I don't wanna do that." "Oh, I don't think I can." Or sometimes I'd become the new leader and I would tap someone on the shoulder and they'd say, "Oh, I've always been passed up for those promotions. I don't think I'm ready." So there was a huge gap between how a professional woman typically was looking at herself and or the messages that she got previously, and what I was able to see more objectively, perhaps, as what her real potential is. And studies show that women are advanced for their experience and men are advanced for their potential. So there is a double standard going on that women are having to navigate. And I think that helps them feel less than. So I wanted to make a difference.
So I'm going to assume, you correct me if I'm wrong here, that the person that you're helping is high achieving woman, high potential woman in their corporate career. Is that correct?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I would
Please be
say
like.
that, and even if you look at women's earning, like by tens of thousands of dollars,
Mhm.
the high achieving women, we would say maybe are over 200 or 250 earnings.
Yeah.
That's much less than 10% of the women out there.
Mhm.
And many of those women who get to that level sort of have the gears rolling. What I have found is that women who are in that 100 to 150, 180 band that haven't been able to really uh, take it to the next level, but
Yeah.
they are well experienced, they are well educated, and they have great expertise. They haven't learned how to do more with it. So I've found over the past 10 years that most of my clients are in that 100 to 180 level. I've had clients in the 200 plus. I've had several $1 million earner women who needed a boost after a job loss or sort of rethinking where they were going. And then from time to time, I had a really gutsy couple of gals who were lower than 80K in salary, and they knew that they should be six-figure earners. So I would say my clients that I've worked with over the past 10 years are probably looking like the bell curve of all women earners out there.
I love this. There is so many things to discuss in there. So you base yourself mainly, and I'm purposefully being the devil's advocate here, on women's earning situation to see if they are coachable to the next level or who you want to target. Is that correct?
It's mostly about being coachable.
Right. How do
It's
you know if a
mostly
woman is coachable in that regard?
through a series of questions in an interview beforehand
Yeah.
to make sure, first of all, that we can fix what's going on.
Mhm.
And one of the questions I always ask on those interviews is, "Are you good at what you do?"
And what should
Because
they
it could be a competency issue, and I can usually figure that out. Partly with how the interview is going, that we called a career breakthrough call. Um, Partly just what I'm picking up. And then as I'm assessing what the real problem is and sort of peeling back the layers, uh, she's got to be ready to dive in both internally and at a strategy and execution level. There has to be ambition in there somewhere. And coachable really is also being humble. So it's like, yep, I'm not doing everything I could. Yep, I don't know the way. Yep, I'm willing to learn. So it takes someone who's ready to do that to really help make the changes.
there a specific industry that you focus on, or it's really
No.
industry agnostic?
Yeah, every industry, because we're not helping our clients be better at their jobs. We're helping them advance in their career. And that is the advancement of one's career, advancement as a leader is its own sport. So I don't care if you're software engineer, marketing exec, food scientist. I mean, I've seen it all. Okay. I didn't even know some of these careers existed. It's about leveraging who you are at a greater level without more work so that you can advance and earn and have a better impact as well. So yeah, it's across the board. Um, and I enjoy learning about different industries as well, because it helps me really understand and keep concluding that most industries are the same. There's a group of
Like,
human beings trying to go somewhere together,
yeah.
and everyone has faults. They're trying to go together by minimizing their faults, or maybe not minimizing. Maybe there's like a bully or a toxic person who's not minimizing their faults. And navigating that is just it's human, it's human dynamics.
Yeah. So fundamentally, I agree with you. I do believe there is a version where when you say, "Hey, I help you manage time," and then there is, "Hey, if you're a sales professional, I help you manage time." You're going to be able to charge that a bit higher because you will only talk to salespeople, but then the salespeople will be like, "Oh, this is for me." And it's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, if you're sales in a scale up who just raised $5 million in the B2B space in the technology industry, I help you manage your time." You can charge a multiple again of that. So there is an interest, I believe, in targeting a specific niche. But once you've owned that niche, nothing stops you from going to, broader niches, which I imagine is where you are, because you are actually having a proven offer and can address any industry at this stage. But maybe
Mhm.
for coaches listening to us, I mean, what's your take on this, Maureen? Does that make sense to you, or
Yeah. Well,
what do
I
you think?
think I think so I've worked with a couple of guys as well, but most of the women I've worked with, if they are on their own ambitious and they want to work with a coach, they're going to move faster. If they have had insecurity and some failings for a while, it's going to take them some time to step up and to start believing in themselves. And with that being said, they may have had some issues, performance issues in their career because of that. So it can be a mixed bag of who's coming to the table and what needs to get taken care of in order for that person's career to accelerate. It's not just a one problem issue, but we do want to isolate that and identify what are those issues so that we can tackle that.
So how do you help them achieve that? So I think we have a clear understanding of like where you're coming from, why you do
Mhm.
it, which I love starting with because the mission is always the most important in my opinion. Who
Mhm.
you're helping. Now, how do you help them? What is it that you help this woman with so that they can achieve higher income, more responsibilities, climbing up the ladder, feeling more fulfilled,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
The one sentence answer is really seeing who she truly is.
I like that.
And there are two layers of that. One is internally as a human being, getting back in touch with her true self. I call that her soul power. And when we can bring an individual human being sense of self up, we're going to enhance their life. I mean, if you feel better about yourself, life's going to be better. So there is that fundamental aspect to everything we do, helping a human being remember who she is and understand what is special about her. And then we can get at the what have you achieved? What results and outcomes do you bring to the table? What kind of education, experience, and expertise are you not leveraging fully? That when it's packaged properly, you should be up here. And if that person doesn't feel awesome inside, that packaging is not going to fly. It's just not going to fly. And we see this at the resume development point. We start articulating this woman's results and outcomes with her. And she's like, yeah, but I don't know. Should we say it that strongly? I'm like, well, isn't that what you accomplished? Yeah, but I don't know. Like, she's afraid to put herself in the position of, yeah, I did that. So more inner work. And then a whole nother level of that happens when we start optimizing her LinkedIn. And now it's like she's public facing and having to admit that she's done great stuff. It starts to get all that stuff stirred up inside, and it's that's where the real coaching comes in, where we have to keep her believing in herself and seeing what the truth is while she's getting external facing. And then, of course, we have to make sure she can interview and talk about herself properly, which has to be built off of all of that work. We can't just pop into an interview coaching. I actually did this as a one-off a couple of weeks ago. Someone from a big software company asked me if I could just help her with a quick interview coaching because she had a promotion possibility and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't really do that because I don't know who you are. I don't really know the inner core of who you are. I don't know enough about your company or you, la, la, la. Please, I just need an hour of your time. So I agreed to do it. And I get with her and I'm asking her 20 questions. She's like, I don't know. I don't know what my biggest accomplishment has been. I'm not sure how to say that. I'm like, this is why we don't just do an hour of interview coaching, because you're not even prepared for the ingredients.
The interview coaching interview.
Yeah. So it is a building process, just like anything. And I'm always equating it to running a marathon, which I've done a few times in my life. You have a goal to run a marathon. You don't do it the next day. You have to train and prepare and eat right and get your sleep and stay healthy and get the mileage in. And then you can run a marathon. And I think a career is very similar to that. You have to have the built up stuff to be able to position yourself at a higher level and to feel worthy of that extra money.
Agree to that. So in order to attract those high potential, potentially high achieving, coachable, making between 80 and 200K per year women, what has worked for you the best, Coach Mo, to like attract those women so that they come to you and, seek help? What I'm trying to understand is the business of coaching. How do you market Coach Mo?
Yeah. Well, I've tried just about every angle of pain point to get to this woman. One thing resonates quite well with a professional woman, and that is something I call job trauma. Most women who've been navigating their career have come across, if not once, multiple times, where they've been treated like shit. And sometimes that's been someone who's a very toxic human being. Sometimes it's been a layoff where it was just like surprising and financially destabilizing and just took them off their game. So it can be something that's a little bit more personal, or it can just be a typical job and career disruption that happens. And so when someone gets jolted at that level, there's a real pain to solve. And so communicating, talking about that, having information out there about that problem and how I solve that, because what I do is help this woman feel better about herself. So if she's feeling crappy because she lost her job or had a toxic boss or doesn't know what to do next, she's sort of disabled because she's been at this company for 20 years and I don't even know if I could ever get another job somewhere else. we're helping her feel better about herself. So all the messaging I do really has to include that piece. And that, of course, automatically takes off the table a very high performing woman who just wants to get another job after having a layoff, and she's not like emotionally too, pushed back about it, and she just wants to get at it. That's not necessarily my ideal client. Um, I work better with someone who's got a little bit of internal work to do and to get them really feeling good about themselves. And that person is likely also underpaid significantly.
So I want to double down on a few things that you mentioned, Coach Moy, because I think this is gold. So this is very much about the messaging here, right? I want to dig a little bit further into the actual channels and the strategy. Like,
Yeah.
how do you tactically implement this?
Yeah.
I think the key message here that I want to double down on is being extremely aware, maybe even more than your ICP, on their pain points
Yes.
and how to press on it. And it's
Mhm.
not just like, hey, you're bad, look at this. It's more like, hey, look, there is a problem here
Yes.
that maybe you're not even facing fully because you're hiding behind whatever. But like,
Mhm.
this is the problem right now. Like, you've been treated poorly or you're not making as much as you should. Like,
Right.
what are you gonna do about it?
Yes.
Problem awareness and knowing the pain points of your ICP and being able to press on them to make them take action. And we're just in the messaging here. It's like whether they work with you, us, or not at the end of the day, doesn't matter. What matters is making those people take action and helping them go to the next level.
Yeah.
Pain
Absolutely.
points.
Yeah, and sort of commonly, women aren't always focusing on the salary that they're making as the biggest problem. And when I'm having these career breakthrough calls, I'll do a little math. So if someone's making 150, they should be at 200. It's a
Yeah,
50K gap over
not
10
bad.
years. That's a $500,000 that they just left on the table. We're not
I'll
talking
take
about
it. I'll take it.
groceries for a week. We're talking about a house. Okay.
It
So when
depends
they
where.
realize
Just
the
arrived in the
magnitude,
US.
yeah, the magnitude of that, it starts to wake up this ambition about why they should take care of this problem, because it's not just a job, it's an asset that is likely their biggest asset in their life. And if we do the math over a career, the numbers I like to use is the first 20 years averaging 100K a year, 2 million. The second 20 years averaging 200K, that's 40 million. I mean, 4 million. So you put the 2 and 4, that's a $6 million asset over 40 years. And likely no one that I'm working with is living in a $6 million house. So their career well outpaces any other asset they will ever have their hands on. And when people start to calibrate with that, they're like, "Oh, oh."
On the
So
table.
it's not just a job, it's what's the asset aggregating to?
Yeah.
And usually when your compensation increases, your contribution increases, so that starts to feel better also.
Mhm.
Oh, it's great running a team. Oh, I love being able to make better decisions, being part of strategy. I mean, it's just more satisfying to play at those levels. So I think not only isolating a pain point that they might know about, but identifying a pain point they may not even be thinking about. That's like, whoa. So those are some of the messaging channels, messages that I have put a lot of thought and content toward.
So that's the messaging. I think it's key, right? When you build your marketing strategy, you start with this anyways, like who am I talking to? What's the end goal? Like what am I trying them to take action on? But like
Hmm.
the second phase is how do I talk to them and what's the messaging? So this is gold. For you, Coach Mo, so what has worked, right? So actually the decision maker, let me take a few steps back here quickly. The decision maker to hire you, is it the woman herself or is it her company who wants to get a coach to help
Yeah,
their
good question.
woman?
It is her. I want to work with her
Interesting.
because if I'm helping her get a different job,
Yeah.
and her company
Mm,
underwrites the coaching,
fair enough.
I'm
That might
feeling
not
a
be
little
aligned.
bit like, well, thanks
Legal
anyway. We
conflict.
have had a few women whose company has paid for it. Uh, Sometimes that's been a promotion, sometimes it's been aggregate to the company. I don't love that. I want the woman to be her own agent of change and to
That's
be
interesting.
handling that as her own ambition. I want to do better for myself.
That's very interesting. So let me ask you this. There is, so in the decision-making process, because I'm assuming we're talking rather high ticket here,
Mhm.
um, it would be much easier for you to say, hey, don't worry, the company is going to cover it. You know, they have like learning and training development budget and like whatever. It's much easier to sell an individual coaching via a company than out of pocket for the woman herself. So how do you, I know we are jumping a bit ahead of ourselves right now and talking about the sales motion, but like, is that something you've considered and like flirted with or?
It again, it's tricky because of what I just mentioned. Um, I will say this, a B2B sale to me has less price friction.
Exactly.
And it's a little incongruent with what I'm all about. So if I were strictly in, let me make as much money as possible, I might have a different myopic view on this issue. And maybe to my detriment, I'm not sure. But I really like working with individual humans who are at stake for the changes that they have to make. And if they're sort of saying, oh, my company paid for it, doesn't really matter. I mean, that's like Airbnb. You know, you're not going to fix the roof on an Airbnb. But if it's your home, you're living in it and you're dealing with it, you're going to do the work. So it does make a decision more risky because women aren't as inclined to invest in themselves as their male colleagues. And sometimes we still have the social structure, even though women are breadwinners in a lot of households, the social structure of, I have to ask my spouse.
I was going to ask you about the I need to talk to my
Let's
husband's
not talk
objection.
about that too long because it starts to irritate me.
But that's fascinating. So look, that's what I love about this show. Like we just go wherever the conversation takes us. I wanted to have a focus on sales, but like we are there now. How do you handle this? Because I think a lot of B2B coaches, consultants, they will have a I need to talk to my partner, I need to talk to my
Mhm.
co-founders, I need to talk to, you know, my CMO,
Yep.
CXO, whatever I
Yep.
can do to delay the decision-making process and put
Right.
the, you know,
Exactly.
decision burden on
Right.
somebody else. But
Yeah.
in your particular case, this is what you're coaching them to get rid of, in a way, right? I guess
Yes.
that's part of it. So how do you handle that?
Well, there's been a variety of psychological levers that we have used, and one of them is the same day discount,
Interesting.
and
Hmm,
having a significant discount for making a decision right now, which
interesting.
I love because that's also a motivational lever. If my prospect gets started with her coaching off of the call that we just uncovered everything, the motivation is still hot. If she has to think about it for a week, we've just gone from motivation to, I think I'll comb my hair. Like it just becomes such a bland thing. We take the pressure off. And I'm a registered nurse. My first profession was nursing. And so I equate a lot of decision making with how we handle ourselves in our health experience. Most people have to feel some type of physical pain in order to go see the doctor. They're not just going to go to the doctor and say, "Hey, I've been thinking about my health. You want to run some tests and see if there's anything wrong with me?"
And unless
You're
you're
going to go to the
influenced by
doctor
this
if there's
industry.
something wrong, and then if you're sneezing and having a cold and whatever, and you're like, "Well, I'm going to see how this goes for the next week, and then maybe I'll take some medicine." Your symptoms are right now.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a better idea for you to start taking the medicine now.
Mhm.
And let's not have this
Okay.
impact other parts of your life more. So, stacking all of that on the prospect to help her make a positive decision, to help her understand the the motivational factors do seem like in many times like sales manipulation, but it's human psychology. If you've uncovered a problem and you're feeling the weight of it, your best decision to solve it is in the moment where you're feeling the weight of the problem.
I want to double down on this again, Coach Mo, because I think this is so good. And this goes back to my mentor. So when I was learning sales, I had to learn sales because when you launch the business, is what you do at some point.
Yes.
And one of the things my mentor said is that, do you think genuinely, right? Do you think you can help people with your service? I was like, yeah, if they fit this particular avatar, like I know my service can help them.
Yeah.
They were like, cool. Then it's your moral responsibility to do everything you can to help those people.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
only works if you genuinely believe you have a great service and a great product.
Yes.
If that's the
Right.
case, making them make a decision towards taking action so that they can do better, whatever is it that you're selling,
Mhm.
is doing them a favor, doing them a service. It's like, hey, look, I know that most people struggle on making a decision. They let it drag and they end up not making any decision. And 6 months down the line, they are still in the exact same point. To tackle this, I'm offering you a 24 hours discount or like a same
Yes.
day decision discount.
Yes. Yes.
Do
Yep.
you want to take it? Like,
Mhm.
this is costing me money, but because I want to help.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that we don't use enough.
Mhm.
That works very well if the person is interested into
Yeah.
taking action, obviously.
And I think it's on, I'll say my part
Mhm.
as someone who's leading that conversation. If I feel bad about that, if I have my own baggage, because you said something fantastic, and that is if you really morally believe that this person's life is so much better working with you, you have to be ambitious for them on the sales call. Like when I leave a woman with a career problem to think about it, I feel like, damn, they're going to suffer more. Their life's going to suck. They're not going to get that great job. They're not going to believe in themselves. Their kids don't get the best version of their mom. Their partner's not getting the best version of their partner. Like nothing goes well if she doesn't take care of this problem. And it's only going to come back. And then she's going to basically hate on herself more because she can't fix it. Like when I really feel that motivation, I'm going to be stronger on the sales call because I know the truth. She hasn't got a rope to work on. And I think that's as a consultant or as a coach, we have to get really clear about that. Like on every interaction we have, we're not just trying to sell our services. We're literally helping someone solve a problem that is costing them emotion, money, or both. And to me, that's a significant thing that we do in the world. It's like the sacred privilege of being in the service industry is helping with those types of problems.
Let me ask you, Coach Mo, where where are you stuck right now? I mean, clearly you're doing a lot of things very, very well. I'm interested into understanding where you feel stuck. The reason I'm asking this is we will have B2B coaches, consultants listening to us right now, or when the
Mhm,
recording goes live, who will feel, maybe a bit challenged by the same thing. And it's always
mhm.
interesting to hear from your peers how they think about solving a problem. So,
Yeah.
what would that be for you?
I think, one of the things that I have personally noticed that I'm taking extra care of this year, and I'm gonna go into the next year even with greater commitments, is my own personal self-care. Not letting the business own me. Because with the passion I have to help these women, with the success rate we have, it's very easy for my ambition and passion to sort of take over my life and me not give myself what I need. And look, I know how to work hard. I know how to put the pedal to the metal, but I'll just say, sacrificed too much on the personal health and time and rest. Uh, and that's my main focus right now. That's what I'm really focused on fixing is the imbalance of what the work, the work can take everything because you want to keep serving. I want to keep shooting another video. I want to do another webinar for this, or, oh, I've got women who keep saying this. I want to do an educational program. I mean, I'm constantly thinking of ways to help make the path of trust, knowing me, all that better. But my challenge right now is peeling back from that and having greater balance for myself, greater harmony for myself.
That makes a lot of sense. What is, so then it's a question that goes a bit against that. I mean, not necessarily. I guess you can find balance in everything also in that. But I wanted to ask you, what's the next big lever for growth for you and your business in the next 3 to 6 months? If you're trying to take some time back from the company for yourself, so that you can take greater care of yourself, maybe growth is not the main thing you're focusing on, but it
Well,
can be something that you unlock at the same time.
yeah,
Go ahead.
it's
What are
going to
your
be
thoughts?
where I'm going is going to be different. I am leveraging AI in a really, really big way to help my clients have greater efficiency of using the tools that I've been showing them for years, but now using the infrastructure of AI, they don't have to work as hard to come up with things that they're going to use for
Yeah.
interviews, LinkedIn, resume, etc.
Yeah.
So I've been leveraging that significantly this year, and it's going to take another total upgrade coming into next year.
Mhm.
Additionally, I took the time this year to focus on writing the book that I've been wanting to put out there.
Nice.
So the book on my soul methodology and how I help my clients come into their power from the internal is going to be out next year as well. So taking a shift more on that author speaker and then leveraging AI and having that also be more accessible. Some of the high ticket work that we do is sort of dropping down a little bit for a variety of reasons, and I want to make some of the work that I do more accessible. Of course, it won't be as personal, but it could be if they like that. Then come and access the higher ticket, the more personal concierge level. But that's what I'm doing on a go forward. So hopefully that'll help leverage my time better, and it won't be just all sort of me content out there delivering and messaging and coaching. So that's the plan for the next 2 months, 3 months, and definitely into all of next year.
Coach Mo, ladies and gentlemen, Coach Mo, if people want to find out more about you and what you do, where should they go?
I'm going to send them right now. I'm doing a really cool thing called the Leadership Collective. It's
Okay.
a nice sort of coaching light program. We're going to be delivering monthly toolkit on a particular
Mhm.
topic and explaining that topic and how it relates to being a better leader. And that's called the Leadership Collective. So they can come to mofaul.com/TLC and
Mhm.
find out more about that. And it's a very accessible program, really built around delivering content that is digestible in a monthly nugget, and helping leaders get what they need in a less expensive, more accessible way. So the Leadership Collective, mofal.com/TLC. And that's kind of a cool thing I'm launching right now. And it's really exciting. My clients have really taken up on it. They're like, wow, this is great. So I'm excited about that.
We'll put the link in the description. Coach Mo, thank
Super.
you so
Thank
much for coming on the show. And one thing for sure is that you just earned at least one connection on LinkedIn from this interview. Me, I just added you. Thank you so much for coming.
Guillaume, it's been a pleasure. I love talking about this stuff with another colleague and just hashing it out. Thanks for having me.
It was great. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Consulting Leaders Podcast. We hope you learned valuable lessons on how to grow your practice and take your business to the next level. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you're listening to this show so you never miss an episode. To apply and be a guest on the show, click the link in the description. See you next time. How was that?